In a world where humans and aliens clash, one man's fate is sealed by an unexpected bond with a mysterious alien werewolf girl. Danger, passion, and destiny collide in ways he never imagined. Welcome to Earthborn Valor, where human courage meets cosmic destiny. If you love epic HFY sci-fi stories filled with suspense, romance, and adventure, hit subscribe and join the journey today. The sky over Earth was not the same anymore. Every night, strange lights moved like fire across the darkness. At first, people thought it was just satellites or broken ships. But then came the sounds, roaring thunder with no storm. The world knew something big was coming, but no one expected how strange and personal it would become for one young man. Ethan Walker stood on the rooftop of his old apartment, watching the sky burn with silent flashes. He was 23, a mechanic who loved fixing broken machines. His life was simple, his world small. But that night, everything in his life started to break apart. The war began without warning. From the East Coast to the deserts, giant shadows fell from the sky. Ships, alien ships, descended with a noise that shook the ground. They were not like the sleek silver saucers humans imagined. They were dark, jagged, and alive with glowing veins of red. People screamed in the streets as the air filled with strange energy. Ethan's city was one of the first to be attacked. He ran through the crowded streets, engines of alien crafts screaming above. Every building he had known cracked under fire. The government tried to fight, but tanks and jets were crushed like toys. The world was at war and humanity was losing. Yet something strange happened. The invaders did not kill everyone. Instead, they hunted. They captured. They searched like predators looking for prey. Ethan could not understand why. That night, hiding inside a broken train station, Ethan saw something he would never forget. A massive creature stepped from the smoke, half human, half beast. Its body was tall and strong, covered in dark silver fur that shimmered in the firelight. Its eyes glowed with a strange golden light, and its claws cut through steel like paper. Around it marched alien soldiers, scaled creatures with weapons that hissed like snakes. But the beast was different. It did not move like the others. It sniffed the air, growled low, and looked almost alive. Not a machine of war, but something more. Ethan froze, his heart pounding so hard he thought the beast would hear it. The golden eyes locked onto him. For one terrifying moment, Ethan thought he was finished. The beast snarled, its teeth sharp like blades. But then it stopped. Its head tilted, its ears twitched. And instead of killing him, it stepped closer, slowly, almost curious. Ethan could not breathe. Every instinct told him to run, but his legs refused to move. The beast bent low, its glowing eyes staring straight into his. Then, in a voice that was deep yet strangely human, it spoke. "You belong to me." Ethan's blood turned cold. He had no idea what those words meant. He wanted to scream, to fight, to deny. But the beast's gaze held him like chains. Before he could react, alien soldiers shouted in a strange language. They pointed weapons, trying to pull the beast away. The beast growled at them, snapping its jaws. The soldiers hesitated. Even they seemed afraid of it. Then, with one swift motion, the beast grabbed Ethan by the arm. Its claws were sharp, but they did not cut him. It held him tightly, possessively, as if protecting him from the others. The war outside raged louder. Buildings collapsed, ships roared above, humans screamed for help. But Ethan's world shrank to that single terrifying moment, him and the beast. Suddenly, a blast shook the ground. Fire exploded near the train station, throwing Ethan and the beast to the floor. Pain burned through his chest as smoke filled his lungs. He coughed, his vision blurry. Through the chaos, he saw the beast standing tall again, snarling at its own army. "Mine," it roared, its voice echoing like thunder. "He is mine!" The alien soldiers backed away. Even in the middle of war, they dared not challenge the beast. Ethan's heart raced. Why was this creature protecting him? Why did it claim him like some possession? Before Ethan could think, the beast lifted him easily onto its shoulder and leapt through the ruins. Every jump shook his bones. Every breath of the beast's hot air burned his skin. Ethan felt like prey carried by a predator, yet strangely safe. Above them, the night sky split open with more ships arriving. The world was falling apart. But Ethan realized something even more dangerous. This war was not just about Earth. It was about him, and about the beast who had chosen him. The golden eyes glowed brighter as the beast whispered again, this time softer, almost like a promise. "You are mine, human, and I will never let you go." Ethan closed his eyes, fear and confusion twisting inside him. He did not know what fate awaited him, but deep down, he felt this was only the beginning. The war outside was terrifying, but the war inside his heart was even more dangerous. The world blurred around Ethan as the beast carried him through burning streets. Every jump shook the ground, every roar of alien engines echoed like the end of the world. Ethan's chest tightened, not only from fear but from confusion. Why was he still alive? Why had this monster chosen him when thousands of others were being dragged away, chained, or killed? The beast moved with speed no human could match. Its muscles flexed under its silver fur, glowing faintly under the firelight. Ethan could feel the warmth of its body, smell the strange scent of smoke mixed with something wild, like the forest after rain. It made his skin prickle. When they finally stopped, it was inside a half-destroyed tower on the edge of the city. The windows were shattered, walls cracked, but it gave cover from the chaos outside. The beast set Ethan down carefully, almost gently. Ethan stumbled backward, his hands shaking, his breath quick and shallow. "Why me?" he whispered, his voice breaking. "Why are you doing this?" The beast tilted its head, watching him with golden eyes that glowed like fire in the dark. For a long time it said nothing. Then its deep voice rumbled like thunder. "Because you are mine." Ethan's stomach turned. "I don't belong to you."
I don't belong to anyone,
he shouted, anger bursting through his fear. The beast growled low, its sharp teeth flashing. For a moment, Ethan thought it would strike him down. But then something unexpected happened. The growl softened, turning almost into a sigh. "You don't understand yet." Ethan pressed his back against the wall, heart hammering. His mind raced with escape plans, but his body was too weak, his legs trembling. He was trapped. The beast moved closer, its shadow falling over him. Ethan clenched his fists, ready to fight even if it meant dying, but the beast did not attack. Instead, it raised one clawed hand and touched its chest. "I am Kale," it said, voice softer than before. Not like the others, different. Ethan blinked. A name, this monster had a name. "Kyle," he repeated, his voice shaking. The beast, Kyle, nodded slowly. Its golden eyes flickered as if searching for something inside Ethan's soul. Then Kale spoke words that froze his blood. "You are chosen." "Chosen? Chosen for what?" Ethan demanded, his voice cracking. "To be your prisoner? Your pet? What do you mean?" Kale's jaw tightened. "Not pet. Not prisoner, mate." The word hit Ethan like a blade. His mouth went dry, his heart slammed against his ribs. "Mate?" he shouted. "I'm human. You're not even—" He couldn't finish the sentence. The idea was insane. A monster calling him its mate? It was madness. Kale stepped closer, crouching low so their eyes were level. His breath was hot, his eyes unblinking. "Fate does not ask what you want. Fate takes, and fate has taken you. For me." Ethan's hands shook as he pressed against the wall. "This is insane," he whispered. "You're insane." But deep down, something strange stirred inside him. He could still feel the heat of Kale's touch on his arm, the way those golden eyes refused to let him go. It was terrifying, but also unexplainably powerful. Outside, explosions thundered. Human screams mixed with alien roars. The war was tearing the city apart. But inside that ruined tower, Ethan felt caught in a different kind of storm, one made of fear, confusion, and something he didn't want to name. Kyle turned toward the window, growling as more alien soldiers appeared below. "They will come," he muttered. "They want you too." Ethan's heart stopped. "Me? Why would they want me?" "I'm nobody." Kyle's eyes narrowed. "Not nobody special. Your blood, your spirit, it calls. Even I do not understand it fully. But I know this, if they take you, you will never return." Ethan shivered. His life had always been ordinary. He fixed cars, ate cheap food, dreamed of leaving the city someday. And now he was being hunted not just as a human, but as something more, something even aliens feared. Kale turned back to him, his voice sharp with command. "Stay with me. Fight me if you must. Hate me if you want. But stay alive. Only I can keep you safe." Ethan's throat tightened. He wanted to scream, to curse, to tell Kale to leave him alone. But when he looked into those golden eyes, his words stuck. There was something there. Something wild, something broken, something desperate. This wasn't just a monster claiming ownership. It was something deeper, something Ethan couldn't explain. Suddenly, a loud crash shook the tower. The wall exploded inward as alien soldiers stormed in, their weapons glowing with red light. Ethan fell to the ground, covering his head. Kale roared, his claws tearing through the first soldier in an instant. The room filled with chaos, hissing energy, breaking stone, snarls of battle. Ethan crawled behind a broken pillar, fear burning through him. He should run. He should escape while Kale was distracted, but his body refused to move. He watched as Kale fought, every movement brutal and precise, protecting the space where Ethan hid. Blood splashed across the floor, bodies fell, and when the last soldier hit the ground, Kale stood tall, his fur stained with red. His golden eyes locked onto Ethan again. "You see?" Kyle growled. "Even they know. You are mine." Ethan's chest heaved, his hands trembling. He wanted to deny it, to reject every word, but his voice broke before he could speak. Because deep inside, a terrifying thought had taken root. What if Kale was right? Smoke still lingered in the broken tower. Alien blood dripped from Kale's claws, the red glow of their weapons fading into silence. Ethan's chest rose and fell as he pressed himself against the cracked pillar, eyes wide, heart refusing to calm. He had survived the attack. But at what cost? Kyle stood in the center of the ruined room, breathing heavily. His golden eyes burned with a mix of fury and hunger. When they turned to Ethan, it was not like looking at a stranger. It was like being locked inside a cage without bars. Ethan's hands trembled. He knew he could not stay here. He had to run, to find his own people, to survive on his own terms. But Kale's words still echoed in his skull. "You are mine." For hours, Kale did not move far from him. The beast blocked the doorway like a guardian, or a jailer. Ethan could not tell the difference. Every time Ethan shifted, Kale's golden gaze followed, never blinking, never softening. Ethan's stomach twisted with hunger, but fear tasted stronger. He had to think. He had to plan. Escape was impossible if Kale was awake. But if Kale slept, maybe then. The night stretched long. Kyle finally sank against the wall, his giant form lowering with a heavy sigh. His claws rested loosely on the ground, his head tilted back, eyes half closing. Ethan's chest pounded. This was his chance. He waited until Kale's breathing grew slower, deeper, like the rhythm of distant thunder. Then silently, Ethan crawled toward the shattered hole in the wall. His palms bled from the broken glass, but he did not stop. Every step was a prayer. Every movement was a knife of guilt. When he reached the edge, he looked back. Kale still slept, his chest rising like a mountain with every breath. For a moment, Ethan hesitated. Something in him felt heavy, wrong. This creature had saved him, protected him, but it also claimed him, bound him, controlled him. "I can't," Ethan whispered to himself. "I won't," and he climbed out. The city outside was chaos. Fires burned across the horizon, smoke choking the stars. Alien ships moved like predators in the night, their lights scanning the ruins. Ethan ducked into an alley, pressing against cold stone. His heart thudded so loudly he thought the aliens would hear. He ran. Through empty streets, through shattered buildings, past bodies he dared not look at. His lungs screamed for air, but he forced himself forward. He had no destination, only one thought: freedom. But freedom was short. A sharp hiss filled the night. Shadows moved. Alien soldiers. Their scaled bodies glimmered in the firelight, their red weapons ready. Ethan froze. His chest tightened as their eyes locked on him. "Human," one hissed, its voice like broken glass. Ethan backed away, panic clawing at his throat. He had no weapon, no plan, just fear. The soldiers raised their guns. Energy crackled. Then a roar split the air. Kale. From the rooftops, the beast landed with a crash that shook the street. His claws tore through stone, his eyes blazing like suns. The soldiers hesitated only for a heartbeat, but it was too late. Kale ripped through them with savage fury, blood spraying against the burning walls. Ethan stumbled back, horrified, yet strangely relieved. When the last soldier fell, Kale turned, his chest heaving, his golden gaze locked onto Ethan. Fury burned there, deeper than any fire. "You tried to leave." His voice was low, sharp, dangerous. Ethan's throat closed. I had to," he stammered. "I don't belong to you. I belong to myself." Kyle snarled, stepping closer, his massive frame blocking all escape. "You do not understand. The world hunts you. They want you dead. Only I can keep you alive." "You're not keeping me alive," Ethan spat, his fear twisting into anger. "You're keeping me prisoner." The words cut the air like a blade. For a long moment, Cale said nothing. His chest rose and fell, his claws flexing against the stone. Then slowly, he crouched low. His golden eyes not angry now, but wounded. "You think I am your cage," Cale whispered, "but I am your shield." Ethan's breath shook. For the first time, Cale looked less like a monster, and more like something broken, something chained by its own fate. But before Ethan could speak, a deafening sound cracked the sky. Above them, a massive ship descended, larger than any before. Its red lights turned the night into blood. The ground shook as alien soldiers poured from its belly. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Cale's head snapped toward them, his body tense. His voice was urgent now. "They know. They come for you. You cannot run anymore." Ethan's chest tightened as the soldiers advanced. His legs screamed to flee, but his mind whispered another truth: no escape. Not this time. Cale bared his teeth. Stepping in front of Ethan, his roar shook the ruins. "Stay behind me." And for the first time, Ethan obeyed. Not because of chains, not because of fear, but because some part of him deep down knew Cale was right. The war outside raged louder. The forbidden escape had failed, and the bond between human and beast had only grown darker. The red glow from the alien ship washed over the ruins like a flood of fire. Ethan's breath came in ragged gasps as Cale stood tall before him, claws dripping from the last battle. Hundreds of soldiers advanced, their weapons glowing, their scaled armor clattering like bone. The air vibrated with the sound of war. Cale crouched low, muscles coiled, golden eyes burning. "Stay behind me," he growled again, his voice both command and plea. Ethan pressed his back against the broken wall, terror and anger boiling inside him. He wanted to scream at Cale, to demand answers. Why him? Why this war? Why did every alien seem to want his blood? But the battlefield gave no time for questions. The first wave of soldiers charged. Cale leapt into them like a storm, claws slashing, teeth tearing. He moved with savage grace, each strike precise, each roar shaking Ethan's chest. Yet for every soldier Cale tore down, 3 more came. Ethan's mind screamed, "I have to run," but his body froze. His eyes locked on the beast fighting for him, and something strange stirred in his chest. A pull, deep and unsettling. A soldier broke past Cale's fury and lunged for Ethan. The alien's weapon glowed red, energy humming. Ethan stumbled back, raising his arms uselessly. The shot fired, but it never struck him. The weapon's beam twisted in the air, splitting apart before it could touch him. The soldier hissed in confusion, staring at the weapon as if it had betrayed him. Then Cale's claws ripped through its chest, ending the question before it could be asked. Ethan's hands shook as he stared at the place where the energy had bent, like it had been pulled away from him. His stomach turned. What just happened? Cale noticed too. His golden eyes flicked toward Ethan, wide, surprised. For the first time, the beast looked shaken. The battle raged until the streets were littered with bodies. When the last soldier fell, the giant ship retreated slowly, its lights fading into the clouds. Silence returned, broken only by Ethan's heavy breathing. Cale turned toward him, blood soaking his silver fur. His voice was low, almost reverent. "Now I see. It is true." Ethan's throat tightened. "What are you talking about?" Cale stepped closer, his massive frame towering over him. He touched his own chest, then pointed a claw toward Ethan. "Your blood. It calls the void. It bends the fire of their weapons. No human should do this." Ethan shook his head, backing away. "No, I'm just a mechanic. I fix cars, not bend alien guns." But deep down, a memory sparked. When he was a child, strange things had happened around him. Light bulbs flickering, machines breaking when he touched them. Fires that sparked without reason. He had buried those memories, called them accidents, but now, they didn't feel like accidents anymore. Cale's golden eyes narrowed. "This is why they hunt you. Why I claimed you. Your blood is not only human, it is more." Ethan froze. His mind spun. Not only human? What did that mean? His parents had been ordinary. His life had been ordinary. Nothing about him was special, and yet, here he stood alive, protected by a beast who swore he was chosen. "No," Ethan whispered, shaking his head. "You're lying. You have to be lying." Cale growled low, frustration burning in his voice. "Do you think I want this? Do you think I enjoy being chained to fate? I did not choose you. The blood chose. The stars chose, and now so must you." Ethan's chest tightened as Cale's words sank in. His fear turned to anger. "I never asked for this," he shouted. "I don't want to be your mate. I don't want to be some chosen freak. I just want my life back." Kale's face hardened. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence was heavier than the battle. Then Kale's voice dropped to a whisper. "Your life was taken the moment they came. There is no going back." Ethan's knees weakened and he sank against the wall, head in his hands. His whole world was crumbling, not just because of the war, but because of what he might be. His blood, his fate, his unwanted bond with a beast. Kale knelt in front of him, massive claws resting on the ground. For the first time, his voice carried not power, but something almost gentle. "Hate me if you must, but do not hate yourself. What you are may be the only hope for your people." Ethan lifted his head slowly. His eyes burned with unshed tears, his chest heavy with fear. He wanted to deny it, to throw the words back. But then he remembered the weapon's beam twisting away, saving his life. He remembered the soldiers hissing in fear when they saw him. Maybe Kale wasn't lying. Maybe his blood wasn't normal. The thought chilled him to the bone. Outside, thunder rolled. Another ship moved across the sky, its shadow stretching long over the ruins. The war was not ending, it was only growing. And Ethan knew now he was no ordinary survivor. He was something more. Something dangerous. And his blood held secrets that could change the fate of Earth forever. The night air burned with the smell of smoke and blood. Ethan sat in the shadow of the ruined wall, his hands trembling as Kale's words echoed in his mind. Your blood is not only human, he wanted to deny it, to scream that it was impossible. But the memory of the alien weapon twisting away from him would not fade. Something inside him had bent the fire, something unnatural. Kale paced like a caged predator, his golden eyes flashing with a restless light. "They will not stop," he growled. "Every ship in the sky will hunt until they have you." Ethan pushed himself up, fists clenched. "Then let them come. I never asked for this. I never wanted it. You think I'll just accept being your mate, your weapon, your prize?" Kale froze. His claws flexed against the stone. Slowly he turned, his massive frame looming over Ethan. For a moment his face was all fury, teeth bared, muscles tense. But then his expression shifted. The rage melted into something stranger, almost painful. "You think I see you as a prize?" Kale's voice was low, sharp, trembling at the edges. "You are fire to me, fire that burns my chains, fire that could kill me, or save me." Ethan swallowed hard, his anger warring with confusion. "Then why chain me to you? Why not let me go?" Kale stepped closer, crouching low so their eyes met. His voice rumbled like distant thunder. "Because when your fire wakes fully, it will consume you. And only a bond can keep you from being destroyed." Ethan's chest tightened. A bond. The word pulsed with meaning, though he didn't fully understand. He shook his head. "I don't believe you." But before Kale could answer, the ground shook violently. A deep roar split the night as a massive alien war beast thundered into the streets. It was larger than Kale, armored with black scales, its eyes glowing crimson. Chains of molten energy wrapped around its body, dragging behind it like burning tails. Soldiers followed in its wake, their weapons raised. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. What is that?" Kale's eyes narrowed, his claws unsheathing with a hiss. "A bloodhound. They unleashed it for you." The beast howled, the sound shattering glass and rattling bones. Its red gaze locked directly on Ethan. Heat radiated from its body, flames licking along its scales. Kyle roared in response, stepping between Ethan and the monster. "Stay behind me." The two titans clashed in the ruined street. Claws struck, fire met steel. Kale fought with brutal strength, but the bloodhound's flames seared his fur, burning patches of silver to black. Each strike shook the earth, each roar cracked the sky. Ethan watched in horror, his chest pounding. Kyle was strong, but the hound was stronger. The alien soldiers cheered as Kyle was thrown against a wall, rubble crashing down on him. "No!" Ethan shouted. He ran toward Kale, pulling at the debris. His hands bled, his arms shook, but he wouldn't stop. "Get up, don't die!" The hound turned, its crimson eyes locking on Ethan again. It opened its jaws, fire building in its throat. Ethan froze, terror gripping him, then it happened. The fire burst toward him, but twisted again. The flames bent in the air, swirling around him instead of striking. They spun like a living storm, forming a shield of burning light. Ethan gasped as the heat washed over him, but it didn't burn. It felt alive, it felt like it was answering him. Kale broke free of the rubble, his golden eyes wide as he saw Ethan standing in a shield of fire. "The bond," he whispered. "It has awakened." The bloodhound roared and lunged again, but this time Ethan raised his hand without thinking. The storm of fire shot forward, slamming into the beast. It screamed, its body twisting in agony before it staggered back, flames tearing through its scales. Ethan collapsed to his knees, his chest heaving. The fire vanished, leaving only smoke. His hands shook violently. What did I just do?" Kale approached, battered and burned, but his eyes glowed brighter than ever. He knelt beside Ethan, one massive claw gently touching his shoulder. "You called the fire. You bent it. Not even I could stop the hound's flames. But you did." Ethan stared at his trembling hands, fear and disbelief twisting inside him. "This isn't real. I can't do this." Kale leaned closer, his voice rough, urgent. "You can, you must. This is the bond of fire. It ties us, it ties you to me. And without it you will be consumed." Ethan's throat tightened. He wanted to run, to deny, to scream. But deep inside the fire still pulsed, waiting, hungry. And he knew Kale was right. The soldiers had fallen silent, fear replacing their chants. The bloodhound writhed in the distance, broken by Ethan's fire. For the first time the enemy hesitated. Kale's golden eyes locked on Ethan's. "You see now? This bond is not curse. It is weapon. Together, we can burn their world before they burn yours." Ethan shook his head, whispering to himself, "I never asked for this." But as the smoke cleared and the soldiers retreated, he realized something terrifying. Whether he asked for it or not, the bond of fire was his now, and there was no going back. The city lay in ruins, the air thick with smoke and ash. Ethan's body shook as he knelt in the rubble, his hands still burning faintly from the storm of fire he had unleashed. The silence after the battle felt heavier than the screams before it. Kale stood over him, blood dripping from his wounds, his silver fur scorched black in places. His golden eyes glowed fiercely, not with rage now, but with something sharper, possession, pride, and fear. "You felt it," Kale said, his voice low, trembling with something Ethan had never heard before. "The fire answers you. It will answer only you. You cannot deny it anymore." Ethan raised his head slowly, his chest heaving. "I didn't want this," he whispered, his voice raw. "I didn't want your bond. I didn't want power." Kale crouched, his massive form lowering so his face was inches away. His breath was hot, his gaze unrelenting. "Power does not ask what you want, it claims. Just as I claim you." The words pierced Ethan like blades. He staggered back, shaking his head. "No, you don't own me. I'm not your property." Kale's jaw tightened. His claws scraped against the stone, but his voice came out almost desperate. "You are not property. You are everything. Without you, I am nothing. Without me, you are ash. This bond, whether you accept it or not, has sealed us." Ethan's stomach twisted. He wanted to scream at Kyle, to run, to tear away the invisible chains. But deep inside, the fire pulsed again, hot and alive, answering Kale's words. He hated it. He feared it. But he could not deny it. Before he could speak, the ground shook violently. Above, the sky split open with light. Not one ship, not 100, but an entire fleet descended, their massive forms blotting out the stars. Thousands of soldiers poured into the ruins, their voices chanting in a language Ethan could not understand. And at the center of it all, a throne descended. Black, jagged, alive with red veins of light. Upon it sat a figure unlike any Ethan had seen before. Tall, draped in armor that glowed with shifting symbols, its eyes blazing crimson fire. Its presence bent the air itself, and every soldier fell silent in reverence. Kale stiffened, his fur bristling. His voice dropped to a whisper. "The High Lord. He comes himself." The figure rose from the throne, stepping onto the broken earth with measured grace. Its gaze locked on Ethan, piercing him through. The voice that followed was not spoken, but thundered directly into Ethan's skull. At last, the blood reveals itself. Ethan staggered back, clutching his head. The High Lord's gaze burned into him, stripping him bare. He felt small, weak, helpless. Kale snarled, stepping in front of him. "He is mine." The High Lord tilted its head, its crimson fire blazing brighter. "Yours? You think you can claim what belongs to the stars?" Kyle roared, his voice shaking the ruins. "I will fight you. I will fight your armies." "He is mine!" The soldiers erupted in laughter that hissed like knives. The High Lord lifted one hand and silence fell. Its burning eyes turned to Ethan again. You are the vessel. The fire is yours, but it is not complete. You cannot control it. Not without me. Ethan's throat tightened. Stay away from me, he whispered. The High Lord's voice thundered with cruel certainty. You will burn the world with me, or against me. Kale snarled, his claws digging into the ground. He leaned close to Ethan, whispering fiercely. Do not listen. He wants to break you, to use you. Only I can hold the fire inside you. Ethan's chest heaved, his mind a storm. Kale's golden eyes locked on him, desperate, wild. The High Lord's crimson gaze burned from the other side, commanding, unyielding. The fire inside Ethan pulsed harder, hotter, as if answering both voices. His vision blurred, his skin burning from within. He screamed, clutching his chest. Cal grabbed his shoulders. Look at me, choose me. If you turn to him, you are lost. The High Lord extended his hand, the air warping with energy. Choose me, and I will make you more than human, more than beast, a god. Ethan's vision split between gold and crimson, between Kale's desperate claim and the High Lord's endless promise. His body shook violently, fire bursting around him, tearing the ruins apart. Soldiers staggered back, shielding themselves from the storm. Kale held on, his voice breaking. Ethan, you are mine. The High Lord's voice thundered louder. No, he is mine. Ethan's scream split the sky as the fire consumed him, rising higher, brighter, until the world itself trembled. And then, darkness. The ruins fell silent. The fleet above stilled. Kale's golden eyes widened in horror. The High Lord's crimson fire flickered in shock. Ethan was gone, vanished into the fire.